All right, now, Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 37 criminal counts related to his alleged mishandling of classified documents. He is the first U.S. president to face federal charges for hoarding classified documents at his beach house in Florida after leaving his office. Trump has repeatedly proclaimed his innocence and accuses Biden of targeting him in a sharp attack. Trump has called his indictment evil and heinous abuse of power. Not just that, he's even claimed that charges against him have been put because Biden knows he is going to lose polls quite badly this time. Trump is accused of hiding classified documents, including state nuclear secrets, in his shower, ballrooms in his personal residence. In fact, all this has amounted to a charge of conspiracy to obstruct justice.
I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Name a special prosecutor. And all others involved with the destruction of our elections, our borders, and our country itself. They're destroying our country. And when I'm reelected, and we will get reelected, we have no choice. We're not going to have a country anymore. I will totally obliterate the deep state. We will obliterate the deep state. And we know who they are. I know exactly who they are. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's very simple. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They want you silent. And I am the only one that can save this nation because you know they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again.
They hate Donald Trump. What we are witnessing today is the blatant and unapologetic weaponization of the criminal justice system. The decision to pursue charges against President Trump while turning a blind eye to others is emblematic of the corruption that we have here. We are at a turning point in our nation's history. The targeting, prosecution of a leading political opponent is the type of thing you see in dictatorships like Cuba and Venezuela.
All right, now, what does Trump indictment really mean for his future plans of 2024 polls? India Today spoke to former editor of India Abroad, the Indian American newspaper. Let's have a listen.
It's been very interesting that Trump has decided to return to at least try to rerun as a presidential candidate again for 2024. But it's not going to be an easy road at all for him, if at all he gets to be on that road.
Absolutely, because this is just one of probably a few more indictments that are to follow. And it was historic in the 247-year history of the United States. Never has a former president been indicted, and indicted in federal court. And it was quite a circus today in Miami outside the federal court, where a lot of hundreds of Trump fans as well as a few protesters had assembled for this historic indictment on 37 counts. And of course, now what could happen is his lawyers could file motions, try to delay the thing, and then try to play out the time so that it might extend beyond November, which means that if in fact he's leading considerably in the primaries, and if he wins the GOP primary and goes on to be elected as president, he could well, it is unprecedented, but he could pardon himself and he could instruct his attorney general to throw out the entire case. So it's going to be a case where the prosecution will try to find a trial as early as possible. But then, of course, it's going to be early March, and it's very much into primary season. So it's going to be very complicated. But in fact, it has been unprecedented because, in fact, Trump has been unprecedented in terms of some of the classified material that had taken into his Mar-a-Lago home. So it's going to be an interesting next few months going on to all the way up to
It's
the
happening
election.
right when the whole election season is also starting for the USA. I request Aziz Aniva stay on with me. I want to take this question to Geeta Mohan. Geeta, can we say that temporary relief for Donald Trump, and the world in some ways watching? Of course, it is their internal matter, but it is also a very curious case.
Well, Pooja, this is an arraignment hearing, so he was called in. The charges were read out, and yes, he pleaded not guilty as was expected. There were reports that Nauta, his aide, who's also been named as a co-conspirator, would also plead, but that did not happen. He did not enter his plea in this on this very day. But yes, it's a charged-up environment. Are we looking at Trump supporters, anti-Trump protesters, both sides outside the federal court? In fact, one anti-Trump protester actually went in front of his motorcade while he was leaving the Miami court. Having said that, this is only the beginning. The entire hearing process could take over a year on this very case in a Miami court. So it is a long-run process, and it has only begun now with the case and the counts of charges. That's about 37 criminal counts that were read out, and Donald Trump clearly saying that he has not done anything wrong. And after that, the press conference and the interaction we've already heard snippets of clearly show that this is a defiant former president, the first former president to have been indicted on criminal counts in a federal court, but nonetheless defiant. And I suppose at this juncture, it looks like he's going to give it a very tough fight.